Hey guys, welcome to SamResolve. Today we're gonna dive into the color page. Let's get started. So let's say you have your clip ready to color grade right here, and then we're gonna go to color page right down here. Click on it. We are introduced with a new user interface that is specifically for color grading. So don't panic when you see all these color knobs or these effects and what is this right here, or maybe you will be at the keyframe pipe right here. What you're gonna do, you wanna go over here and you wanna look at your parade. You can see your RGB right here, your red, green, and blue channels, and you can see now they're kind of in the middle where the top is here and the bottom is 0 right here. So this footage is actually shot on my Panasonic GH6 and it is shot in Vlog. So right now I'm gonna use color space transform to scroll down, and it is right here. And the color grade, we're gonna drag and drop into one of the nodes right here, and we're gonna release, and it's gonna pop up the node settings. And then I'm just gonna quickly transform this vlog footage back to 709 so it's gonna look nicer. Panasonic V gamma, input gamma, vlog, output color space 709. I'm gonna go for gamma 2.4. And this is the color output from the Lumix GH6. So to start your basic color grading, we're gonna create a node right here. Add node, add serial node, and it's gonna pop up a new node right here. So this is gonna be our color space transform node, and this is gonna be our new node. We're gonna make changes with a new node right here. So for the basic of color grading, we can increase the contrast. We can go to color wheels right here, click on it. It says here primary color bars, and we still have some other options to choose with: color wheels, color bars, and log wheels. Okay, so for basic demonstration, we're just gonna talk about the color wheel. Right here at this new node, we can decrease the lift, which is the shadow, a little bit to create more contrast. And then we also need to pay attention to our scopes right here. We can crash the blacks. For example, this part of the image is supposed to be black. We can come right here, 3 dots, click on it, display qualifier focus, and then we can go to qualifier, and then we can point at our images. And you can see right at here, they're selecting where the colors is. You can see that? Just let's just say we want this part to be pure black. We can decrease the lift a little bit. You can see right here the black is touching 0, so you can see right here at the scopes, it's like everything is chrome in between this part, also this part. We want to make this part brighter, so we're gonna pull it up maybe to around 500 to 600 to increase the brightness, or we can pull on the gamma to control the midtones. I'm gonna put it up to somewhere around here. You can see the image is turning a little brighter. That looks pretty nice. And then we can also increase the highlights. For example, this part of the image, this should be pure white, right? Because this part of the image is really hot. We want it to be pure white. Increase our highlights to have this part of the image to be a pure white. All these are personal preferences. So if you don't like your image to be pure black or pure white, you can just have it at 800, or maybe in between, just right below pure white, but just barely touching it. And then same with blacks. If you don't want your blacks to be pure black, you can also increase the black a little bit right here, and then we can just change the midtones. Alright, a little tip for you guys. So after changing the brightness, we kind of want to change the contrast a little bit. So we're gonna create a new node, And we're gonna create a new node, add serial. We're gonna call this contrast. And we're gonna rename this node to brightness. It is easier for you to see what is what. When you want to change something, you can just go back to the node and change it. And we can also rename this to color space transform. So contrast, we can increase contrast right here, and you can see right at the scopes, it's like pulling them apart. Normally 2.5 is enough, and then we can also come here to the pivot to change how it behaves. And also guys, if you guys want your image to be more cinematic, we can add a vignette. Let's go to the effects. We're gonna search for vignette. We're gonna right click here, add a new node. Let's call this vignette. And we're gonna drag this effects onto the node. We kind of have this very strong vignette right here, and then we can go to the global blend. We can lower this down. We can lower the effects down a little bit. And this footage is shot at the aspect ratio of 4:3. We can go to the edit page and we can zoom in just a little bit. A little position. So when you're happy with the color grading, you can play it back and see how it looks. And then we can also add serial. We can also add some blooms. Bloom is like a digital promise filter. And to add bloom, we can search for halation. Drop this effect right here, and it's gonna create kind of like a bloom effect to our image. We can play around with the effects and see what fits. You can pull the bar right here to see the extreme effect. And then we can tone it down to the amount that you want. Let's say threshold, strength and gamma. You can play around with the effects and pick and choose your flavor. And also remember the tip, for every effect you can create a new node. Just right click and add node and add serial node. You know what effect locate in what node, so you can just go back to make changes if you want. You can also turn the nodes effect off just by clicking at the number before and after. That's it for the video guys, and this is only the basic introduction of color grading in the color page. So if you like this video, make sure you check out my next video where I talk about the basics of the Fusion page. So guys, I hope to see you guys in the next video.